Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, the 27th, International Medical Science Liaison Day.
Okay.
National Joe Day, National Scribble Day, and National Spanish Paella Day on Saturday. Sunday, the 28th, National Black Forest Cake Day. I wonder if that's related to Black Forest ham.
I don't know, but I love Black Forest cake.
Oh, yeah. And National Something on a Stick Day. National Weed Appreciation Day, which leads to Something on a Stick and Black Forest Cake. And then National Triglycerides Day. All those things happening this weekend. And I've got a guest joining me. Harold Schechter is an Amazon best-selling author. He's got a book called Hell's Princess. He's got a bunch of other stuff, ripped from the headlines things. But then he's got this new book that just recently came out. It's called Maniac. And it's based on a true story that happened way back in 1927 in Michigan. And it is one of the first and one of the worst mass murders in American history. And I didn't know anything about it, but we're going to learn all about it today.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If it's time to opt for the early bird special, maybe you should do it. 6 in 10 Americans regularly wake up with food hangovers or stomach cramps from eating food too late. Poll of 2,000 people finds on average Americans will have 9 of these stomach cramps every month due to late night meals.
We eat too late.
I can relate.
Way
yes,
too often.
Yes, that happens many times. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel good.
Agreed.
So sometimes I have to get up in the middle of the night and
I don't know about the early bird special, but certainly before maybe 10, 11 p.m.
You should probably do that. And another survey, a team of the University of Waterloo found those who regularly try to impress or influence others by using misleading or impressive-sounding misinformation frequently buy into the same junk they sell to others. So they're saying, like, if you are constantly telling other people tall tales, you also fall for them.
Okay.
So, I agree with that. Thanks for listening. It could be a tall tale, and maybe that
Could
means,
be.
oh, what did I just do? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Florida man who nearly hit a gas pump when he pulled out a package of dank gummies instead of his driver's license showed a deputy who was trying to help him that maybe he was under the influence. March 1st is when this happened. Records show D'Amico Lopez saw the deputy and immediately asked for help, calling AAA because his car wouldn't start.
Okay.
Even though his keys were not even in the ignition.
Oh.
He didn't even have the keys.
Yeah.
He rummaged through his pockets, finally pulled out the keys. Then he said, "Can I get your driver's license?" And then when he started pulling those out, he pulled out a package of green dank gummies is what they were labeled. It's
dank?
a cannabis-infused
okay.
gummy.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm not
turns
familiar,
out
so...
He was a bit under the influence. Also had a package of medicated nerd ropes, whatever that is. Was taken into custody. Small baggie of cocaine was on his person as well. So he was loaded down and ready to party from the sounds of it.
I know what nerd ropes are. I didn't know that you could medicate them. They're nerds that come in a long string in a package.
Yeah,
they're really yummy, but...
Apparently. I don't know. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. CBS extends the hiatus for a TV show called The Talk. Do you know what The Talk is?
I really don't.
It's similar to The View, but it's different angry people.
Okay.
So they apparently have an investigation into Sharon Osbourne's comments on The Talk, and they put the show on hiatus till they get everything ironed out. Reportedly, the whole staff hates one another. So none of these ladies get along.
Why would anybody want to watch something
Apparently,
like
it
this?
makes amazing television because there's several shows like that.
I don't get it. I do not like any of those.
Well, I happen to love you, and the two of us do this show every single day, but we still argue from time to time.
But not like...
I'm saying,
no.
these people don't even like each other, and those arguments get really wild.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel, you know who that is, right?
I do.
His son is now joining the Fast and Furious franchise.
Okay.
So apparently that means they're doing another Fast and Furious movie. Now we know. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of RedCrossBlood.org. The next time your spouse hides out in front of the TV instead of helping with chores, you might want to share this little tidbit with him or with her. Researchers at the University of Missouri, Brigham Young University, and Utah State University found that married couples are happier if they share household responsibilities. The researchers surveyed 160 married couples. They were each married for at least an average of 5 years with at least one child under the age of 5. More wives perceived that their husbands were participating in family work tasks, the better the relationships were for both spouses. Couples' relationships also improved when the wives felt that their husbands were close with the children. Couples do not need to divide chores exactly equally in order to see the benefit. So, even just a little bit.
I don't want to brag, but the other day I came home and I found my husband actually washing out the refrigerator.
Yes. What she doesn't know is I also had a can explode in there right before she got home.
Oh, see? You just ruined it.
I didn't really. Oh. I'm just teasing. But that's, I figured that's what you were going to ask. So what did you spill? No, we had talked.
No, I thought it was fantastic.
2 weeks ago.
I was so excited.
2 weeks ago, we were saying, you know what? Because we took a little trip, but we were like, when we get home, we should probably clean out the refrigerator.
Yeah, it was filthy.
It's been a while. And then every time I opened it, I was thinking, we should do that one of these days.
Yeah.
So she left, and I knew she was going to be gone for about an hour, and I thought, how long could this possibly take? Well, it was a little over an hour.
It's a way bigger chore than you think, because you got to take out those shelves.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot going on there.
pain.
And then I realized...
But I appreciated it.
We have 7 bottles of
much.
ketchup. What is going on? Tanya Douglas, the first female roadie in rock history, has a new book out about the time she spent touring with Ozzy Osbourne, Elton John, Whitesnake, NXS, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
I got to tell you, that is quite the wide variety of types of music.
It is.
Ozzy, Elton John, Whitesnake, NXS, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, and Tanya Douglas, she was the very first ever female roadie in rock history. Now she's got this book out. So, interesting stuff. The zoo in Czech Republic, there's a couple of different zoos there that have now taught their chimpanzees to video chat with each other via Zoom.
Something tells me that is just not going to lead to anything good.
I don't know what's going to happen there. Every time I see the word chimpanzee now, our son brought up a good point. He says, why don't we say chimpanzee? Because when we shorten it, we call him a chimp.
Right.
We don't call him a pansy.
Right.
So why do we put the emphasis on pansies? Chimpanzee. Why wouldn't it be chimpanzee?
Smart guy.
I don't know, but now you can wonder too. And one last story here. General Mills is under fire, Heidi.
Okay, for what now?
After family claims they found shrimp tails and dental floss in their box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ew.
Yeah, so they're under fire.
Okay.
Not exactly sure what was going on there, but it sounds like an interesting weekend. So, I don't know. What do you think would lead to that stuff getting in a box of cereal?
Who knows?
And where did that happen, I wonder? So,
And
bizarre.
did it really happen, or is it
I
a
don't know.
family looking for...
I don't know.
you know?
That's what people online are saying too, but you know what? Anything can happen. Bizarre stuff. I know you just thought of a story of your aunt that we're not going to say on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with author Harold Schechter. We've got him on the line right now. He's got a new book out. It's called Maniac. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Now, tell me a little bit about the book Maniac and how long you've been working on this concept.
Well, the book Maniac deals with what I have come to regard as the single worst crime, American crime, of the 20th century, even though, very interestingly, it has been more or less totally forgotten, called the Bath School Disaster, which happened in the small farming community of Bath, Michigan, located a short distance away from Lansing, in May 1927. It happened when a respected member of the community, in fact a school board member named Andrew Kehoe, descended into paranoia and madness and rigged the community's modern new public school, which taught students from elementary through high school, rigged the basement up at night. He would sneak in at night, rigged it with hundreds of pounds of World War I surplus dynamite, and on the last day of school, detonated it. Fortunately, much of it didn't go off because of faulty wiring, but he did destroy one entire wing of the school and killed 38 children and several teachers. Then he loaded up his Ford pickup truck with more dynamite and shrapnel, drove it down to the scene of the explosion, called over several what we would now call first responders, and blew them and himself up. So the Bath School Disaster of 1927 was the worst school massacre in U.S. history. It was the deadliest act of domestic terrorism before Timothy McVeigh blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City, and it was also the first, and to my knowledge, only suicide car bombing in our history, all rolled into one.
And this is the craziest thing about this. This is a true story that happened in 1927, but I'll bet I'm not the only one listening right now that's going, why have I not heard of this? Because you'd think more people would have heard of this, but even in its day, it was kind of wiped off of the headlines because of something else that happened right afterwards, right?
Yes, absolutely. Just a couple of days after it happened, Charles Lindbergh made his world-changing solo flight across the Atlantic from New York to Paris, which was an event in its time that was at least as big as the moon landing in 1969. So, to give you an example, the day after the Bath School Disaster happened, it was the lead story on the front page of the New York Times. A couple of days later, the first 16 pages of the New York Times consisted of stories about Lindbergh's flight. And the Bath School Disaster was, in other news, completely displaced from the media. So that's a major reason why it was so quickly forgotten.
This, again, one of those things where you look at it and go, I've never even heard of this, but I'm glad that you put this book together to, first of all, let folks know that this did happen. Have we learned something from this, and have we made changes in our country where hopefully this type of thing can't happen again in the future?
Well, I mean, we've certainly learned more about the psychology of people like Andrew Kehoe, who very precisely fits the profile of the modern mass murderer, the individual whose life has become totally unraveled and who blames those around him for his failures and who decides he's going to end his own life, but take as many other people with him as he can and take revenge on the world and his community. In terms of things like this not happening, I mean, I think it's unlikely at the precise kind of mass murder Kehoe committed.
Certainly, let's hope not. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And again, the book is called Maniac. I have a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The human body literally glows. It might seem hard to see this with your naked eye, but everybody you pass every single day is literally glowing. The human body emits a small quantity of visible light. Visible is the technical sense here of illumination. 1,000 times less intense than the level of light that we'd actually be able to see, though. Researchers in Japan used a special camera to track this glow, and they found that it fluctuates throughout the day, with the body emitting its lowest levels of light around 10 a.m. and the highest around 4 p.m. A rhythm, by the way, that scientists attribute to the change in one's metabolism. So,
Do you glow more when pregnant?
I didn't ask, and I don't know. But that is today's fun fact. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Honduras. An accountant witnessed meetings between Honduras President Juan Orlando Hernandez and a drug trafficker in which they planned the trafficking of cocaine to the U.S. Federal prosecutors said this week in New York. So, interesting stuff. Sounds like they had quite the little plan going there. But they had this little meeting going on, and they're like, yeah, that's a bad plan. A news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. We talked about this earlier in the week. Police say they recovered a 400-pound playground slide that was stolen from a playground in Washington State. More details here. Mid-December, police say somebody stole a massive slide from the playground at Tierra Vita Park in Pasco. Detectives came face-to-face with the 400-pound playground slide in a child's bedroom in a mobile home.
In a mobile home.
They made the discovery while investigating recent catalytic converter thefts.
Oh,
Thieves
man.
cut your car's exhaust system so they can steal the catalytic converter. They scrapped this metal to a dealer for heavy metals. Anyway, investigation recently brought them there, and that's when they said, wait a minute, what is this?
Where did you get this slide?
Yeah. Did not say if they found any catalytic converters, but they did find the 400-pound playground slide attached to their children's bed.
You know what? That's creative. You gotta give them that.
30-year-old Dustin Allen was arrested for possession of stolen property for the slide.
Wow.
That is today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by RedCrossBlood.org. 3 people floating on Lake Michigan were rescued, although they didn't initially want assistance. What could have actually become a deadly situation, thank goodness, did not. The adults were in a small inflatable raft floating around 100 yards from shore. That's 300 feet, Heidi.
Okay.
It's a long way.
That is quite a ways.
Grant Park Beach is where this happened in Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee. 4:30 p.m., fire department responded to a report that there were people in a raft, possibly in distress. Authorities deployed an inflatable rescue raft and made contact with the boaters. None of them were wearing life jackets. Authorities said that. Initially, they did not want any help. They agreed to be escorted back to shore after they were
got this.
educated on the dangers of being out on the lake in a small inflatable raft without a personal flotation device.
Oh, wow.
At the time of the incident, the air temperature was 55 degrees. The water was 34 degrees. That's just a few degrees above freezing. In those temperatures, you could die, become unconscious and die, drown eventually, in like 15 to 30 minutes. So it's dangerous. Don't do that. It's today's Moment of Da.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Heidi, you ready for this one?
I am ready.
Ocean Hills, San Juan Capistrano, California. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab
say
center?
that is a rehab center.
Ocean Hills is a rehab center.
Wait.
Golf clap for Heidi. Good job.
Sounds like a nice rehab center,
does.
too.
We should check that out.
We really should. I could use some rehabbing.
Some days I wonder. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? That's how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And I think this is just a really cool story. A 5-year-old boy battling cancer was sworn in as a North Miami police officer. And the photo is just adorable. It was a big day for a 5-year-old boy. He's been battling cancer. North Miami PD held a special swearing-in ceremony for Jeremiah that was just part of a very fun-filled day with activities that are helpful for him to fulfill his dream of being on duty someday. So Jeremiah's dream is to become a police officer. Well, Saturday he received that wish. Even though he's just a little boy, he is now officially sworn in as a police officer.
How great is that?
For over a year, he's been battling with a thing called high-risk stage 4 neuroblastoma cancer. But with prayers and treatment, he has recently proclaimed to have no evidence of the disease now.
That's amazing.
That is the best part of the story. He still has a battle ahead of him to continue treatment so he doesn't have a relapse. But the battle, it's going to be a whole lot easier now because he's got superpowers as of the day that this happened. He said he is so excited to be a police officer. And you should see these photos of him. His uniform is absolutely adorable, by the way.
I bet. What a little
After the festivities continued, they went to a place called Heroes Hangout Childhood Cancer Haven. It's a space where young cancer patients can craft and play and do just about anything they want in a very safe environment. It says when kids come in, there's no cost to the families whatsoever for anything they do here. So they can take home as many toys as they want. It's all a nonprofit. It's a really cool thing. Really cool thing. I've got a link to the story, and there's a ton of photos. And if you get a second, if you click through here, I'm telling you right now, you're going to just fall in love with this little guy. His uniform, the police uniform that he's got on here is just so cute. And there's videos, too, so if you want, you can watch videos. It's hard for us to show those on the radio, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I do have a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.